All right, so this is one of my favorite sessions of the conference because this is where I get to share with all of you all of the amazing things our hardworking folks back at OmniUpdate have done for you over the last year, and to take a look at some of the things that they're doing for you going forward over the next year. So I've got a pretty simple agenda here. We're going to take a quick look back at the year 2016 and remind you of some of the things we've done, some of the things you'll be working with here at the conference and the workshops. Then we'll take a look at what we've got right now in the product, some of the things that were just recently released. And then we'll take a quick sneak preview of some of the things to come over the next year. Sound good? All right, let's go ahead and get started. So a quick look back at 2016. 2016 was a huge year of growth for OmniUpdate as a company. And I wanted to give you a few stats and update you on a few things. First, this number, 9,000 new licensed users were added in 2016. Again, many of you are here this week as brand new OmniUpdate customers. And that brings our total number of licensed users in the product up to 75,000. So there's a lot of you out there using OU Campus today. And you've been working hard. All of you have been working really hard. In fact, to date, you've now made over 50 million updates to pages using the OU Campus content management system. And we've been working really hard as well. In fact, last year, we spent 27,000 hours, development hours, working on OU Campus, specifically based upon the feedback that we get from you and your needs. You know, higher education is the only market we service. This is all we do. And so we listen very closely to you at this conference and beyond to understand your needs, help you solve your problems, and build those into the product. 27,000 hours last year. And that resulted in 83 features and enhancements to OU Campus just over the past year. Now, another number here, 1,100, more than 1,100 of you now are registered users of the OmniUpdate Community Network, what we call the OCN, and the OmniUpdate Learning Management System to learn more about the product. So these are generally administrators of the system. Hopefully all of you are members of the OCN and the LMS. And if not, it's really easy to ask us to get added to the system. Simply send an email to support@omniupdate.com or talk to any one of us here at the conference, and we would be happy to add you to these two systems. Let me show you what they look like. So here's the OCN. Now, the OCN is a great way to extend this conference well beyond the borders and the time frame that we're here for these few short days. This is truly a social network, a community network. There are discussion forums. There is a lot of feedback from you. There's a lot of notes and feedback from us. All of the sessions from these conferences go into the OCN. And this is a great way for you to keep informed and keep connected to all of the people that you meet here at the conference and all of the people that work at OmniUpdate. Then the learning management system is, in effect, an extension to our training program. And you can log in directly from the OCN. There's a link to it, rather, from the OCN. So you can get into the learning management system and take some self-guided instruction about how to use OU Campus. We'll be continuing to add to both of these systems over the next year. They're both a huge success. I want to give a quick shout out to our Speaker Scholarship Program. Now, this is a program that we developed a few years ago that some of you have been taking advantage of, and I encourage you to do so. This is a way for you to attend an industry conference that you might not otherwise be able to attend. If you are interested in attending a conference, let's say High Ed Web, for instance, the national conference, and you don't have the funding to go, well, talk to us. Submit a speaker program, and if we like what we see, and if it works well with us, then we'll help you submit it and help you get accepted and pay for your way to go and be there at the conference for the week. You don't need to talk about Omni Update, just something that we think would be relevant to our customers and the market, and we'll help you get in there. So thank you to those of you who participated last year. I hope to see a lot more of you participating again this year. This is a great program for you. I want to talk for just a moment about our partners. You know, we are fortunate to work with some of the greatest partners in higher education who work with all of you to help you solve your problems as well. And these are some really great companies that are doing some amazing things in all different areas, including marketing, consulting, website design, and even consulting on the technology side to help you build some functionality in your product, in your website. These are some great companies. We are truly honored to work with all of these people. I'd like to get a quick round of applause for all of them. I know many of you rely on their services, and they are great. We were honored by a few awards last year. We were voted again the top commercial CMS of choice by University Business Magazine. Thank you to all of you that voted for us here. This is the 5th year in a row that we won this award. This is very humbling. And we won another award again last year, the Silver Stevie Award for Customer Service Department of the Year. This is also quite humbling because this is actually a broader computer software category than just higher education alone. And we won the Silver Stevie again. In fact, just a few weeks ago, we found out that we won yet again for 2017. So thank you. The credit goes to all the people that work so hard in customer service and support at Omni Update. And I want to recognize them in just a moment as well. But I want to remind you of some of the awards we win because I know how important it is for you to know that you're using an award-winning product. So we couldn't be happier. So 2016 was a huge year for Omni Update. Now, as we grow as an organization, our senior leadership team continues to evolve and grow as well. In fact, at this conference in the past, I've announced several new members of our leadership team. And this year, I'd like to introduce you to 3 new leaders. The first is Mr. Tom Zelliff, our new Director of Customer Success. Tom comes to us with years of experience with a relentless focus on customer support and service from both hardware and software companies, most recently from Ring Technologies. I'm going to have Tom come up here in a few minutes and tell you a little bit more about some of the things that his team has done and some of the broader expansive programs that we're offering in our support organization now. But before I do, I did want to mention someone else who you probably know and remember who worked with many of you over the years, Mr. Andrew Soderberg, who was with us for many years, who left last year to go on to do different things. And I'm pleased to say that Andy is still a member of the Omni Update family. In fact, he's here this week, and he works with some of you as one of our partners. There he is right there. So Andy's still with us and part of the family. The second person I want to introduce is Mr. Tom Smart, our new Vice President of Sales and Marketing. Tom also comes to us from an enterprise sales background, heavily focused on customer success. And he's doing some great things at Omni Update. He joined us last fall. Third, Mr. Dennis Esguerra, who joined us just recently as our new Senior Director of Implementations. I'm also going to have Dennis join me on stage in a few minutes to tell you a little bit more about some of the more rapid onboarding programs that we're setting up this year to help some of you new customers and for some of the existing customers that are working on some bigger projects to help you get started even faster. Now, let me focus on these 2 gentlemen for just a moment because these are really the faces of customer support. These are the ones that you interact with most at Omni Update. In fact, they're really just the tip of the iceberg, aren't they? Their teams are extensive and work with you on a daily basis. On Dennis's side, we have our project managers who work with you to set you up and get you going as new customers and work with you on some of your bigger projects as existing customers. And then the entire development, implementation, and pro services development group that work with Marcel on the nitty-gritty details of your projects. These are the people that do the really heavy lifting to set you up with the new templates and get you onboarded in the system fast. Then on Tom's team, we've got our support and training professionals. These are the people who train you, who come on site to train you in some cases, who answer your phone calls and your tickets and do such an amazing job. These are the true heroes behind our customer service and support team that take you from brand new customers all the way through your experience with OmniUpdate. And I want to personally thank all these hardworking men and women and give them a round of applause. All right, so let me introduce to you Dennis Esguerra, because he's got a couple things that he wanted to share with us about some of the new rapid onboarding progress or systems that we've got running now. So again, Dennis comes to us with an extensive background of customer support and service. He's worked at companies such as Mint.com, Intuit, and more recently in the CMS space, he worked at Crown Peak. And I've got Dennis here to tell us a little bit more. Dennis? Thanks.
Hello, everyone. So I must say this is my first OUTC experience, and definitely OU Nation is in the house. You guys are definitely representing, so I appreciate that. So I just wanted to take a minute and walk you through a few things around implementations, because I think it's very important to understand what we do. And it really starts with you as a customer. Your journey begins with our team. And that is so critical to me, because I want to make sure that you guys have a positive experience. So what does that mean? Our overall mission is to become your trusted advisor, especially during your implementations. And in order for us to do so, we literally have to understand your needs, right? And it's our goal during the sales process. We partner very close with our sales team and get engaged during the discovery calls, the estimation process, and so forth. But really, our goal there is to really walk in your shoes, understand your pain points, understand some of the challenges that you're facing within your CMS environment or lack thereof of a CMS. And it gives us now the ability, once we understand your needs, to really tailor a solution that's going to, at the end of the day, make your lives easier using the CMS. So, if done right, at the end of the day, you become OmniUpdate advocates. So let's talk about rapid onboarding. So I did a lot of stats the first 2 weeks I joined OmniUpdate, and I wanted to build a benchmark to understand what's the state of the implementation team, what's the state of our overall customer experience. Having that data helps me make informed decisions. And what I found out, which I thought was a very surprising number, it took 200 days on average from the time you signed the contract for the subscription to the time that we've completed the project. And I took a step back and I was like, wow, what's going on? Why is it taking so long? And then I realized 50 to 60% of that time was spent waiting on delivery of design files. Right? And I've spoken to some of you already today and yesterday. There was an example of, the reason why it's taking our design file so long is because there's a lot of bureaucracy that's happening internally, right? Some person wants their gold color to be only 10% instead of 80%. Right? So I was like, okay, wow. So I get it, right? I too am getting to learn the higher ed vertical coming from the enterprise world. So I'm like, how can we get our customers up and running sooner so you guys can take advantage of OU Campus. And then I took the time, to talk to our sales team as well to understand, okay, what are they hearing from our customers? What are they hearing from our prospects, right? And typically, and you guys are out there, you know who you are, right? They'll typically hear, okay, we love OU Campus. We'd like to get started sooner. However, we don't know when our design files are going to be ready. Or if you guys are one of these, like, we want to start the implementation now, right? But some of you haven't worked with a design agency yet. So, we're trying to speed up that process as well. And then, there's some that think that some of their solution today, whether that's a CMS or lack thereof, right? Obviously, the work that's happening that you guys are doing on a day-to-day basis is cumbersome. It takes too long. And some of you are now really worried about the compliance aspect of it. So, I want to make sure that you guys understand that there is an opportunity to get up and running. And there's a terminology that we use now internally, which is probably, might be new to you, but we call it a lift and shift. For those new customers that have just recently come on board, what a lift and shift entails is basically the use of your existing design files that's unique to every page that's currently live in your website. And we will use those design files to basically build the templates and build the page functionality and the layouts onto our CMS, onto OU Campus. And you're wondering, like, well, what is that going to get me? Right? I'm still waiting for my design files. It's not going to happen until 8 months from now. Well, you will get an immediate lift. And basically, that lift is your content is now managed on OU Campus. So you're now leveraging the ease of use. You're also starting to build a stronger foundation as far as understanding some of the concepts in OU Campus, right? Snippets, assets, they're no longer concepts. You guys are actually now getting to use those and using those sooner than later. And then you're basically realizing that immediate benefit. There's been some talk around compliance already, right? Immediately, you could leverage some of the modules that are available to you. So OU Insights, for example, right? I understand that when we do a lift and shift, we're basically bringing on the entire house along with all the dirty laundry and the dishes that may have not been cleaned yet, right? But you can start using OU Insights, for example, to manage your content, to make sure that your content is consistent before you publish out to your websites, right? You're checking for broken links. You're checking for misspellings. So to me, brand consistency is huge, right? And accessibility is huge. So I encourage you to start doing that. Lance has mentioned our support team. They've just recently won another Stevie Award. So you now have access to them as well. But at the end of the day, what's happening now is based on your use of OU Campus ahead of time, you can now maximize what you're asking for from the design agency. And as a result of that, too, while you're using OU Campus sooner, what's happening is your migration moving forward is going to be smoother because now your content is already on OU Campus. Yes, you're waiting for your design files, which is going to happen 8 months later. But now the mapping for your migration is there. So the risk of having a longer duration for the migration process becomes significantly minimized. So we know that you guys are going to have a substantial investment on the design piece of this. So I want to make sure that you guys are aware that you can use OU Campus sooner than later. Another example is building a migration site. So I actually call this the starter site, right? And a starter site really consists of 2 basic templates. So we're not putting in any design, but it's 2 basic templates. It's basically an interior page and a section template, right? And what happens there is it provides you the ability now to author your content using OU Campus. And then you're also expediting the build out of your folder architecture, your file architecture, and so forth, right? And at the end of the day, again, now that you have your content on OU and you're managing your existing content, that migration should be smoother. So last but not least, I'm going to leave with this. So I know there's some existing customers here in your name tag that says 2 years or above, 2, 3, up to, I believe, 14. What's in it for you? Since you've already gone through that pain of, waiting for the design files and going through some of the things that you were working with your design agency and the implementation. Well, I want you to be aware that the partners that Lance has just shared with you in his slide, we are advancing our partnerships with our design agencies. And what that means is we're actually training our design agencies to understand OU Campus further, understand how my team builds out their templates, understand what our requirements are so that in the front end, as they work with you and partner with you, they're already designing your front end to ensure that everything plugs in within OU Campus when we start our template development. We're also slotting our projects sooner than later. So there's some of you here that may be surprised because we've actually started your project sooner than later. In the last month and a half, as a matter of fact, we've pulled in a handful of projects that were slotted in April or May, and we actually slotted it sooner. And the reason for that is if your design files are ready to go, your unique design files for every page, CSS, JavaScript, and so forth, if that's ready to go, we will slot your project as soon as possible. That way, that project's ready in flight, and it gives you the chance to basically flip the switch and turn on your website or enable that microsite. So our goal, and this is our continued goal every time, a full implementation will take us approximately 6 to 8 weeks, right? Granted, it all starts with ensuring that we receive your design file. So I challenge each and every one of you, for those of you who have design files ready, or for those of you who don't have it ready and it's not going to be ready for a month, a couple months from now, look at doing a migration or look at doing a lift and shift, look at doing a starter site. But at the end of the day, I definitely challenge each and every one of you. If you are ready, our team's ready, so I say bring it on. Thank you.
Great, thank you, Dennis. So yes, get to know Dennis, get to know some of his team that you might not have met before. There's a lot of them here this week, and take advantage of what Dennis is offering here. So that's Dennis Esguerra, and as I said, kind of tip of the iceberg here. I mentioned Tom Zelliff a moment ago. So here's Tom's team, and I wanted to introduce Tom because he's actually got some great new offerings in our support organization that he can share with us today and let you know some of the things some of you have taken advantage of already, and some of you will hopefully be learning more about this week. So Tom?
Thank you, Lance. Hello, everybody. It is great to be here. My name is Tom Zelliff, Director of Customer Success. I love helping people, which is why I'm all about customer support. As Lance mentioned, for the last 15 years, I have been helping train and support customers, caring for their needs, and empowering them with knowledge to make sure they can do what they need to do. When it came time for a career change, I looked for a company that valued customer support the same way I do. The answer was OmniUpdate. When I came on board, Lance gave me one challenge: to take our support to the next level. A tall order, because we have an outstanding reputation for support already. This is what I've been working on, so I wanted to walk you through some of the changes we've been making. First of all customers of OmniUpdate receive, and always will receive, top-notch customer support from our award-winning support team. 36 minutes is the average time to respond to a first ticket. We get to all of our tickets, 87.3% of them within 1 hour. and resolve 41% of them within 1 business day. And we're working to improve that even further. We've added new expanded support offerings. In fact, several of you are here because of the free OUTC tickets that several of those plans have. In terms of enhanced support offerings, we've added unlimited tickets, assistance via live chat to our award-winning support team, customized webinar training sessions, customized for your needs as you need them, expert best practice review and audit, so we can give you best practice recommendations and tips to get the most out of OU Campus. Dedicated support agent with a priority response to make sure that the whole team can respond to you quickly and you have a direct extension to your dedicated agent. And finally, annual on-site follow-up supplemental training sessions to make sure that your users have what they need as things change. We're also happy to introduce our new maintenance plans. We created these plans because we often receive requests for help that go well above and beyond the basic CMS use. So small incremental change projects can be handled quickly and easily with my dedicated team. Big projects will still go through Dennis's team and professional services, but with a maintenance plan, the quick, easy projects like that can be easily handled without the complex scope of work process to get you a fast turnaround, get you up and running. Later this year, we're going to launch the OU Support Hub, a new site with a single golden source of information for all the information you could ever need about OU Campus. The OU Hub will combine the Omni Update Community Network, the support site, with a new advanced technical documentation section, the learning management system, and the feedback form in a single, central, easy-to-navigate knowledge solution. And finally, I'm here to ask one simple question. How can I help you? I'm here for the next couple of days, and I'd like to get to know every one of you individually. Please let me know. What can I do? What can we do to help you out? Any questions you may have. I'll be happy to answer them. Make sure that you get the answers that you need with the same respect and personal touch you expect from Omni Update. My job is to enable your success. Let me know how I can help. Thank you very much.
Great, thank you, Tom. So definitely get to know these guys. Get to know them. They're going to be here for the next couple of days. Their teams will be here all week. If you're here through the workshops, they'll be the ones helping you, either up on the stage or out in the crowd, helping you with the hands-on workshops themselves. So get to know these guys while you're here. All right, so that's a quick look back, kind of a recap of 2016 and some of the things that we've done for you back then. Now let's take a look at the here and now. So some of the things that we're doing for you right now in version 10, some of the newest things that just came out, some of the things you'll be learning here at the conference, some of the things that you might not have even used yet. The first is the biggest news of last year, which is the entire OU Campus version 10. This was the big story of last year. It had more features, gadgets, and modules associated with it than probably any release we've done since we moved from version 9 to version 10 3 years ago. This was a major release. Some of the big things that were in it, some of the most important things include OU Campus for mobile, administration and workflow on the go, effectively turning OU Campus into a mobile web application that you can use on any mobile device. And here's what it looks like. We've created an interface that's as easy to use with your finger as the desktop application is to use with your mouse. And it includes some really great capabilities, including anywhere, anytime workflow. So wherever you are, if you get a workflow notification, you can act on it right away. We've got all of the buttons here that you would want to touch with your finger to easily approve, decline, and publish content. Messaging. The messaging system is built right into the mobile app, so as you get notified of information, you can take action on it or respond to it. Publishing, including final check and all of the capabilities that are right there at your fingertips, so easy now on any mobile device. And even reporting. So some of the extensive reporting that we offer is also offered in the mobile device. So this is a great way to use OU Campus on the go, whether it's on phone or a tablet or whatever. And this is something that's included in OU Campus today. This is something that was literally just a part of the system today. So that's the first thing, OU Campus for mobile. Next is something we call tag management. Tag management was one of the biggest features we added to the product ever. It allows you to build powerful content relationships with ease. It allows you to tag everything in the system. Pages, images, assets, every component within the product can be tagged and then acted upon based upon the tags that you use. Of course, tags allow you to find content faster, filter by certain types of content, and all of the things that tagging allow you to do because you're now categorizing information, but it goes much further. Let me give you an example. So let's take a look at a practical use case of something that goes beyond simply finding information because it's been tagged. Here we are on the St. Xavier website and their scholarship page. It's a beautiful website, and as you can see, there's lots of information here for prospective students looking for scholarships. And of course, they can look for scholarships and grants and loans and click on these buttons and pull up a list of information that helps them to click through to those pages. All of these are actually tagged in OU Campus by student type, by student year. All of these are tagged. And it gets even better because here in the search field, if you simply type in something, let's say you click here and type in the word athlete, well, this is going to pull up some scholarships that match that search. Why? Because the search engine is also tied into those tags. So tagging something once gives you so much value in the system programmatically to decide what to do with it. How does this work? Well, let's take a look at this one scholarship here for athletes. So here you can see the tags that have been associated with this particular piece of content up at the top there. The top scholarship there is the page we're looking at in OU Campus, page properties. We're looking at the tagging on that page. And you can see that athlete is the one that's tagged, which is also the one that was searched, which popped up in the parametric search, and et cetera, et cetera. So now you can allow users to put in the type of content through tagging that programmatically changes the outcome of the website dynamically for all of your users. And this is just one of the things that you can do with tagging. So the tag management system allows you to tag pages, images, assets, virtually anything in OU Campus. It allows you to search by tags quickly and easily. It allows you to repurpose content programmatically, which is part of what we saw there, either on transformation upon output or even dynamically, as you've seen, as we've added those tags as content elements within the pages themselves. And it's account-wide and available to all sites. And collections of tags can be created to limit access as well. So you can bundle a few tags together to make one super tag effectively. Tagging is perfect for many different reasons. Blogging, for example, a great use of tags. News, events, parametric search, as we showed. Scholarships, as we showed. Faculty listings. These are all great uses of the tag management system. And again, like OU Campus for Mobile, it's included in OU Campus today. And you will be learning more about it this week. If you haven't started using this, tag management is really, really awesome. All right, next up is a module that we released last year called Emergency Alerts. Emergency Alerts allows you to alert the world when the unexpected happens. This is a powerful mobile application that you can use to give to non-administrators, if you want, carefully with the right permissions to very simply update your website with content that's relevant to something of great importance. So, for example, here is the way the mobile app looks on your phone, and here is, for example, what we've just typed in emergency alerts, published, and it's updated the home page of the website, or all of the pages on the website, or any specific page that you want. So this is your way to alert a broad audience quickly and easily and put this in the hands of somebody that might not even be a normal OU Campus user. They don't need to learn the system. They simply need to know how to do something as simple as typing in a message, hitting publish, and programmatically, the way you've designed it, however you want it implemented, it will modify the website, in this case, with a very intrusive message that the user would have to dismiss. Then it also can update social media automatically at the same moment, in this case, Twitter or Facebook. So when you publish once, it publishes to both your website and your social media sites. And then, of course, you can even update this and make updates in a blog-like fashion to show the world that things are progressing along here as news breaks. As easy as typing it on your phone, clicking the publish button, and there you have it. So emergency alerts. Alert the world when alert the world when it matters the most. Update alerts from anywhere on your mobile device. Perfect for non-technical users. Again, they don't need to learn the ins and outs of OU Campus to simply make these types of emergency alert updates. And they can update multiple channels on the website and on social media. And emergency alerts is available for purchase as a separate module today. It was released last year. The second big module that I wanted to share with you is something we call OU Insights. Insights gives you the insights that you need to keep your website in top shape. We've been talking a lot about accessibility, spell checking, link checking, and all of these things that are so important for you to keep your arms around with your website. Of course, built into the product is Final Check that will prevent a page perhaps from going out with spelling mistakes or accessibility checks, but OU Insights goes even further. So here's an example of what a report from OU Insights looks like. And it regularly checks the content on your site. By default, it checks the entire content that's stored on the staging server in OU Campus. But you can actually include and exclude more or less content than that. For instance, you could include an external site that's not managed in OU Campus, and you could exclude specific folders or pages within the site that are managed within OU Campus. And it does this periodically, so you can set the periodicity to a day or a week or what you would like to see this report, giving you insights as to all kinds of different aspects of it, including it helps you make improvements, for example, to spelling. So here you can see a score of spelling, and you can click through right away to see what those misspelled words. You can click through to fix them or add them to the dictionary. Links, for example, broken links, and it can show you where those broken links are in this report that's emailed out to you, that's live and dynamic, interactive, so you can click through right back into the system to make the changes you need to make. It helps you adhere to regulations. For example, the accessibility score here, giving you some information about what it is that you could improve to make your site more accessible. Again, allowing you to click right through, see what the reason for that score is on a particular page, each and everything that you can improve upon. It helps you optimize for SEO. This is something we have nowhere else in the product. This is not a part of Final Check, in fact, but you get this with OU Insights. So you can see the SEO score here, and you can click through again to figure out what it is that you can make better and make your website more SEO friendly. And OU Insights is available for purchase as a separate module. Again, it was shipped in the middle of last year, and it's available to you now. So let me talk about one more thing that happened just last week. We released version 10.5. Version 10.5 was the culmination of 6 months of performance enhancements to OU Campus. This was a huge release. I just said that version 10.4 was the biggest release we did since version 10 shipped. Well, 10.5 was the biggest release in a different way. It was all about performance. It was all about making the system responsive and as fast as we can possibly make it. So this was released just a few days ago on Wednesday of last week. You're probably just starting to use it today. It also included one new really cool feature that I wanted to show you, and that is something that we call the Assets Gadget. The Assets Gadget gives you drag and drop, or allows you to drag and drop assets directly into the WYSIWYG editor. And this is really cool. Let me show you what this looks like. So here we are on a page. We're in an editor in OU Campus, and you can see there the assets is opened up in the sidebar, in the side gadget bar there. You can see the Assets Gadget. Now, as a user, I can go in here and I can click on an asset and I can see it. I can see what that asset is. I can take a look. And of course, I can click and drag right onto the WYSIWYG editor, save it, and in this case, I've just added a Twitter feed for the school right there on the page by dragging that asset that's been pre-programmed to do that right into the WYSIWYG editor. The Assets Gadget is really cool. I think you're going to love it. And it's available as of last Wednesday in version 10.5. So I am going to ask Mr. Shahab Lashkari, our Director of Product Development, to come up on stage for just a moment to show you the Assets Gadget in action and a couple other things. Shahab?
Thank you, Lance.
You don't need this, right?
Thank you, everybody. As Lance said, I'm very excited about version 10.5 and some of the new things that not only we've just released and we have planned for the future. I'm just going to jump in a little bit right now and go to the Assets Gadget and show you exactly how this works in the WYSIWYG editor. And I just want you to see how simple it is to work with, find your assets, and jump straight in to dragging it in from the WYSIWYG editor. So here I am on a page. I'm just going to go into Just Edit and edit the page. Again, simple in-context WYSIWYG editing. The Assets Gadget is not installed by default. So we don't want to change the user interface on you or your users right when you log in. So you go into the marketplace to install the Assets Gadget. Once you've done that, you can turn it on in your sidebar, and it'll only show up when you're actually in a context where it makes sense to use. So gadgets, if you remember, are context aware. They come and go based on the location or the action that you're performing within the CMS. So in this case, I'm in a particular page, I'm editing, and so I have access to the Assets Gadget here. Now I can open that up, and it's going to give me a list of all of my assets that I have available to me. I can go through quickly and filter by name, so if I want to find something that's related to the blog, I can just type in and get an instant filter there. I can also filter by type, so I can choose, I know I want a particular type of asset. I can filter there, or I can filter by tags. So taking that tag management, I can say I want to find something that's tagged Study Abroad, and I can find that I've got this Learn More form here. And so what you can do is you can actually click on these, and it'll generate previews of information about that particular type of asset. So in this case, it's a form, so it's giving me information about the form elements. I can go ahead and hit Insert, and it'll drop it wherever my cursor is in the editor. Additionally, if I clear this tag, you can see for things like image galleries, I can get a preview, and it's going to show me all of the images that are in that gallery, including all of the text or metadata that's associated with that particular gallery item. So I'm going to go ahead and choose this Study Abroad Learn More form. Now I want it to go right down here at the bottom of the form, or bottom of the page, so I'm just going to go ahead and grab that and drag it right over. And now I've dropped that in. Now, of course, this is a form, a managed form, so I'm not going to get the preview right here in the WYSIWYG, but as soon as I hit Save, my preview is going to update, and there's my form. So I've just taken that, I've dropped it right into the page. Very simple for content editors to find and drag the assets that are already created and shared throughout the website right onto the page. And you don't have to worry about remembering which icon it is in the toolbar and clicking that and trying to find everything. It's just right there at your fingertips in the Gadgets sidebar. So that's the Assets gadget. Again, it's a very simple concept, but hopefully it makes the user experience significantly better for content editors and end users. The next thing that I wanted to jump in very quickly and show is OU Insights. So let me go ahead and close that. OU Insights, as Lance mentioned, is a module that can get turned on, and it shows up at the bottom of your reports. So once OU Insights is turned on and configured, and you can define what recurrent schedule you want OU Insights to scan, whether you want to scan daily, weekly, on a specific day of the month, et cetera. And it'll actually go through and it'll scan your website and it'll generate these types of reports. And so here I see effectively the dashboard or the site summary of what OU Insights is providing for me. So I can see in my Galena University site here, I've got an overall score of 83. I can click on this to see a history to see how I'm doing. Now, of course, this is a demo site, so aside from this little dip here, everything's looking pretty steady. Hopefully yours are going to be trending upwards once you start using OU Insights and you find all of the problems that you need to fix. But it gives you that history of your scores. Additionally, it breaks down the score for each individual category, so SEO, accessibility, links, and spelling. From here, I can go straight into a report. So for SEO, I want to see, okay, there's 87 duplicate titles on this site. What are they? And so I can get a report. Here's the title. Here are all the pages that have that title. From here, because we're managing these particular pages, OU Campus knows that I have the ability to just jump straight to editing one of these pages. Or if I want to get more information, I can go straight into a page report for one of those pages. And I'll talk about that in a second. But I also want to show you, you can jump through up here in the navigation for things like pages that are missing titles, pages that have long titles, short titles, et cetera. So we've got tons and tons of things that we're checking on your behalf to make sure that the overall quality of your website meets the standards of your institution. So here's a page. Ironically, it's the actual home page of my website, and it doesn't have a title. Well, that's no good. So let's click on Edit Page. It's going to take me straight to that page. From here, I can go to the page parameters, and I can type in Galena University, give this page a title, and hit Save. And now I've corrected or updated that particular issue. Now, I'm going to go back to the report. I do want to show you one more thing. From here, I can also go into page reports. So navigating down to a specific page. So I can browse the overall structure. Let's go back to that Study Abroad page. If I go in here, I can get a full report of what's going on that page. So I've got information like SEO, accessibility, links, and spelling, all of those reports that we've seen at the site level for this individual page with more detailed information. But also, I've got this summary information up here. I know that the last person that published this was actually myself on September 20th. The last person to make a change or save the content was Kevin, same day. I can break down the reports for SEO here in the page. I can jump in through the accessibility and see that, hey, this page is actually doing great. No known problems, no likely problems, no potential problems. I can see all of the links on the page, no bad links. Several of these are redirects, so maybe I want to consider updating those links. And it's giving me the information whether these are temporary redirects or permanent redirects. So I've got all of this information quickly at my fingertips, including all of the good links, just to get an idea of what this page is doing. Where is it linking out to? Hopefully it's not one of those pages that Mark referenced that have 200 links out to another location. And again, I can jump in and check the spelling. This page is great, no misspelled words. If there are misspelled words, I can just add them straight to the dictionary if they're proper nouns or something that are not actual spelling mistakes, but things that the custom dictionary hasn't learned yet. Additionally, from here, I can share the report. So I can click on this link and send a message off to another OU Campus user, including sending them a link via email to come back and log in and see this report. So it's very easy to sort of offload some of this work to other people. And I can jump straight to editing this page as well. So if I see that, hey, I've got some problems with some of my heading tags and I want to make those changes, all I've got to do is click on Edit Page here, and I'm brought right back to that page so I can make those changes. So the idea here is that we've got, a very powerful tool that goes out and checks all of your pages that are managed within OU Campus, as well as has the ability for you to define pages that are not managed within OU Campus that you can have OU Insights scan as well. So even if you don't have the full power of OU Campus managing all of your pages, you can still leverage OU Insights for those pages that are not managed by OU Campus. Those are just a few of the things that we're really excited to talk about. I can go way more in depth on OU Insights, but I'm not going to do that because we actually have a session right back here in this room after lunch. So if you want to learn more about OU Insights, there's a session right after lunch, and it's also a repeated session. So at the end of the day, if you didn't get the chance to see it at 1, you can see it again later on this afternoon. Thank you.
If I could get my screen back, there we go. All right, so those are some of the things that we've done for you in the product lately. And all of the new gadgets and modules and some of the coolest new things that we've done in OU Campus lately can be found in the OU Marketplace. This is your one-stop shop for modules and gadgets, things that might not be turned on for you that are available to you, and other things that you can request for purchase. Here's what it looks like. So within the product, within OU Campus, you simply go to the Add-ons tab, click on the Marketplace. If you haven't been there, check this out. It's really cool. You can then find, in this case, a module that you're interested in, and you can click to read more about it right here. You can take a look, read some detail. If it's got screenshots, you can click and see the screenshots of what that looks like in action. And if you like what you see, you can simply add it. Now, if it's something that you need to request for purchase, it'll simply send a message to your account rep who will then contact you about purchasing it. If it's something that's included like a gadget for free, you can simply just turn it on and start configuring it in the Setup tab. So the Marketplace is your one-stop shop for everything to do with new modules and new gadgets in OU Campus. Check it out. All right, so that's what we've got for you right now here at the conference. Now, I want to spend a few minutes before we go to lunch to take a look at what's next. Some of the things that we'll be working on throughout the year and adding to the product. The first thing I want to show you is something we've been working on for a long time. We've hinted at it in the past. The name might change, but we're really excited about it, and we're calling it, here we go. We're calling it Components. So Components is a great way for you to separate content from design easily at any scale, and this is the key to it. We separate content from design all the time in OU Campus at a very macro scale, at the template scale, right? Well, now we've got a way for you to think about anything at any scale, even at the most micro scale within an element or a component within that page. Let me show you what I'm talking about. So let's think about it for a moment. We've got a great way to in-context WYSIWYG edit content, right? You simply click to edit any of these green buttons, and away you go. So a user simply comes in here, clicks, and we're editing in this case. In Just Edit, we're editing directly here on the page. In-context WYSIWYG editing. It's one of the cornerstones of editing in OU Campus. And it's easy, it's intuitive, and it's terrific, and it works great at the macro level because it works to separate content from design. Once this content has been edited and you're publishing that content, it gets transformed out to the website in the format and the design that you've specified. But it does give them WYSIWYG editing within this section, right? And that's pretty powerful too, because they can add images, videos, they can drag things in from gadgets, videos and whatnot that they might want to, assets as you just saw, snippets and other things. It gives the user a lot of control within a small area, but that area is actually pretty big when you think about it. Text and pictures get to be a pretty big block. Well, what about when it's a really small, tightly contained, perhaps functionally different element or component on that page? So in this example, we've got a testimonials slider, let's call it. Not an image slider, but a testimonial slider. This is great for image sliders as well, though. So here we've got a section of this page that is highly designed, highly configured, and it's got some programmatic capability to it. It's got some PHP and some JavaScript running perhaps that are sliding this through on the page for the user experience to see these testimonials in the background. How do you edit that in the WYSIWYG editor? Well, it's not so easy, but we have a way. And we do it this way. So here you've probably seen this before. This is something we've been doing for a while, and it's something that we call table transformations. It gives you a WYSIWYG editing experience within a page, within a table in that page, that then gets transformed upon publish out to the final, in this case, testimonial slider. Okay, this works pretty well, but it's a little different user experience than a general WYSIWYG editor, or maybe not even ideal for what you're trying to do with this area. But here they go. Now, what are the advantages and disadvantages? Well, it does separate content from design because it's giving them this table to edit within, which is different than the final output. But it does rely on HTML table functions, which might give them a little more control than you want them to have. And it might not, frankly, be the right user experience that you want them to have. It's not always clear to the users exactly what to do. In this case, this table is showing all three of the quotes, when in reality, when this page is published, you're really only seeing one of those quotes sliding by as the user experience visits that page. And it does require extensive programming on your side to do what you want with this content once it gets published out to the website. You might do a little XSL, you might do a little PHP, you might do a little bit of both to make it do what you want. And there's no easy way to update the formatting globally. And this is a big one. If you think about it, you might do something over and over and over again. Maybe you call it a widget. I know some of you do. And some of the designs that we've seen have some really powerful widgets associated with them. And it's kind of a design once used in many places on the website. But if you're doing table transformations, well, you might be able to do an indirection to some third XSL that you pull in to make it work. But frankly, you're going to go around and edit some of the design elements of each page in the end, perhaps, or the functionality of each page to get it to do what you want if you're going to update it across your site. Well, that's table transformations. There's some great things about it. Many of you love table transformations, but we can do better. So components takes it further. It takes it a lot further in a really good way. Let me show you. I'm going to show you by example. This is the homepage of Utah Valley University. Our friends from UVU are here somewhere. There we are. In Force this week. And they've got a beautiful homepage. They've got these really cool column widgets, if you will, column components, if you will, right here on the page. Highly stylized, beautifully designed, repeated in many parts of the page in this case, or even across the site. Well, how do you edit those in a WYSIWYG editor? Not so easily, right? So what components allows you to do, in this case, let's take a look. So there's even more to these little widgets because you can click and see more, click to get to another page. There's functionality to the user experience that adds even more content to this particular design. So how do we do this using components? Well, it's actually a lot better. So here we are in the WYSIWYG editor again. But in this case, we're going to lock it down so that these components are edited in a different way than anything else in the product. And we call this in-context component editing because it's a wonderful user experience that mimics the rest of the in-context experience that we see like Just Edit. So in this case, let's say we want to edit this one apply component on the home page here. How do we do that? Very, very carefully so we don't break it, right? Well, there's a new button in the toolbar. It's the Components Editor button. And a user simply selects, in this case, the Apply component, and then clicks on the Component Editor button, and up pops this modal dialog that they can use to edit just the fields in that particular component that you've specified. You actually design this form with a simple form builder, just like the other simple form builder we have to build forms on a page in OU Campus to design the user experience for editing this particular component. You lock it down, you control it, and you manage the styles, the design elements, and everything else about this particular component in a completely separate file. This is the user experience, and it's really great. Your users are gonna love it. So this is components. It separates content from design at any level, even at the smallest element on a page. It simplifies complex editing, and you design the user experience. It propagates updates quickly across all of the instances that use the component. That's what's really cool about it. You can modify those design elements, republish the design elements as a component, and it will update all of the places that use it across the website. And you don't need to make any page template modifications to inject, in this case, a component on a page that's already got its own templates. In fact, it actually makes it pretty easy for almost any administrator to add these components to highly complex structured pages. It's really cool. And it will be available this summer. So look forward to this. Ask us more about it at the conference here. We're really excited about components. All right. The second thing I want to show you is what we call the Feed Manager. The Feed Manager allows you to syndicate and dynamically subscribe to all of your content with ease. Now, you might be thinking, okay, well, we've already got RSS. We've already got various different ways to syndicate and subscribe to content using RSS and What's New Live. This takes it to a whole new level. We reimagined the entire content syndication system in OU Campus and provided a lot more power for you to control the situation. So the Feed Manager is perfect for news, events, blogs, and more. So for example, here you might have a page that you're editing, or in this case, a feed item that you're editing, which is very blog-like perhaps. And by simply publishing it out, it turns it into a page. This is one particular use case. And that's from the user experience. It's really easy to create and update these feed items. And you have much more control over the design elements that go into it as well from the user experience as they create these items. It allows for controlled syndication. And this is actually really powerful as well. So you, as the content author, might be selecting the primary feed that this particular item belongs to, right? Well, you can also then suggest other particular feeds that you want it to be a member of, and then there's a workflow process by which the owners of those other feeds can approve or reject items specifically from your feed. So this gives you infinite control over what happens with items and how that flow of syndication and subscription happens across your entire site. You can send updates dynamically to other pages. So like you do with tagging pages, you can simply select a feed that you want it to belong to, put the appropriate tags in it, and then that feed can be automatically, dynamically updated with the content that you're syndicating out. And you have a dashboard of available content that you can go through and manage and select and reject, in this case, particular items that come from the feed, and determine whether or not you want that included in your feed if you're the manager of that feed. And you can elevate and approve content as well. So you can suggest, as an author, you can suggest content to one feed, and as an approver, you can approve or reject it on the other side. And the feed manager is something we're working hard on right now, and we plan to have it available this fall. So these are just two of the things that we're working on. Now, I said this is a sneak preview of some of the things that are to come. Well, we're working hard on many other new features, modules, and gadgets as well. And we've actually got a developer roadmap session tomorrow, coincides about with this same time. It's 11:15 to noon, right here in this room, where Shahab will come up and show us and talk to us about, more in depth on components and Feed Manager, and some of the other things that we've got coming out later this year. So that's the Feed Manager. And that's a sneak preview of the OU Campus Roadmap. All right. Now, before I send you off to lunch, let's see, we've got a minute or two left. Before I send you off to lunch, I did have one more thing I wanted to talk about. You know, at Omni Update, we love what we do, and we are really passionate about servicing you, our customers. We love exploring new ways to solve your problems, and that leads us down some pretty exciting paths as we innovate and build new technologies, new features, and new gadgets in the product. We love it. We love what we do. But sometimes, to be honest, our passion for this gets in the way a little bit of our focus, our relentless focus on some of the core tenets that we made sure that we released in version 10 3 years ago. And one of those is performance. And I said to you 3 years ago that version 10 was to become as performant as a desktop application. That was one of the core tenets of the design that went into version 10. And I can tell you, for all the great things that came out in version 10.4 last year, the one thing we're not proud of is that it really did fall short of our high expectations of performance. Well, I'm happy to say that 10.5 has gotten us back on track. And the feedback I've gotten from many of you already is that it's as performant, if not more performant, than any prior version of version 10. And we're really happy about that. But we've got so much more that we've got to do. We've identified over the last 6 months with the release of version 10 dozens of things that we can improve to increase the performance of the system. And we are going to be relentless this year about making the system even faster. So we've got a huge initiative right now, both programmatically and in IT and infrastructure, to make the system dramatically faster. So I want to talk about the server performance boost that you're going to see coming this summer just a little bit. We are doing a top-to-bottom refresh on our entire data center, from switches to database hardware to the application layer to the application servers and everything in between, even the networking speeds. So we are dramatically giving a lift to our data centers. In addition to that, we are expanding our geography. So as many of you know, we have our Los Angeles, our Dallas, and our Seattle co-location facilities and data centers and backup centers. And we use these to ensure that the system is always available and reliable and backing itself up to all the various different places. Well, over the next year and a year from now, our goal is to have a brand new data center set up on the East Coast. And we're going to start having conversations with some of you about moving you geographically to a location closer to your institution to increase performance even further. And this is just going to be the cherry on top, because everything else we're going to do, you're going to be seeing this summer that's going to increase the speed and performance of OU Campus. So I'm really excited about this. I hope you are as well. And this gets us back to some of the things that we're most passionate about, some of the reasons that we released version 10 to begin with. We made a huge leap forward from version 9 to version 10. And you will see more performance improvements in version 10 over the next few months. All right, so get ready for a big week this week. This is just the start. We are just getting started. We have got some in-depth feature sessions this afternoon across our 4 breakout sessions. We've got peer-led sessions, thanks to all of you. And we've got some hands-on workshops on Wednesday and Thursday that are pretty extensive and are going to wear some of you out in a good way. And we've got our OUTC Hackathon Wednesday night. I hope that you're able to join us for that if you're building gadgets in the workshops on Wednesday during the day. And we've got our dinner cruise tonight, which you're all invited to, which is going to be a lot of fun. Make sure you're out here at 5:30. Thank you very much, and we're going to go to lunch now.